don't necessarily see when the monthly government report comes out.
The overall unemployment rate is 4.3%. In the last year, it's barely moved. But take a look at what's happening with black women. Their unemployment rate has jumped to 6.7%. In tonight's Question Everything, why are black women losing jobs at such a high rate? WBZ's Courtney Cole shows us experts are blaming 3 factors.
Tell me when you were laid off. So formally as of April of this year. Fajani Cadet's experience is all too familiar right now. A highly educated black professional who's now unemployed and worried about her future. The anxiety of the uncertainty of what comes next. Cadet was the director of diversity and inclusion for a global research and advisory firm. And that's one of the factors behind more than 300,000 black women leaving the workforce between February and April. Corporate America's retreat from DEI.
It's been really disheartening.
Abba Taylor is the president and CEO of YW Boston, an organization dedicated to creating more inclusive work environments.
Long-term career women in the federal government suddenly just being told they need to go for no reason.
She highlights a second factor, small businesses cutting back.
Small businesses are really being impacted by the tariff policies.
And the third factor, the layoffs in the federal government. There are more black women working for the federal government than in the private sector.
This is a 5-alarm fire.
That's why Representative Ayanna Pressley is using this letter to voice her concerns to Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors.
What I'm calling on the Fed to do is to collect the data, to analyze the data, and to come up with a plan. 300,000 black women have been pushed out of the labor force in the public and private sector, and that is a crisis.
She wants a response from the Fed no later than September 30th.
Black women have always been an economic indicator. We have been the canaries in the coal mine. So it is advantageous, and economists will support this, for us to better understand exactly what is happening to black women and then do something about it.
YW Boston isn't waiting for the federal government to help. Talk to me about the role that YW Boston plays in addressing challenges that black women are facing in the workplace.
We have a lot of programming coming up this fall to kind of focus specifically on women of color, black women and women of color, including another webinar in October that focuses on women of color in the workplace and sort of what is the status. So it'll be a continuation of this conversation.
Taylor tells me they're also working on putting a leadership program together for 2026. As for what's for Cadet, you spoke to me a little bit earlier about being able to pivot and repurpose.
Yeah, I think right now it's helping organizations, as I mentioned, tie DEI principles to org effectiveness work. People are dealing with so much disruption now, societal, political, technological disruption. And right now, organizations need leaders who have met the moment and can really help lead through change. And so right now, I'm looking for different opportunities that are going to be more broad in integrating culture, learning, and employee experience.
Now, we have checked in with Representative Pressley's office today, and they still have not received a response from the Fed. However, if you're watching and you're wondering, what can I do to positively impact change? Representative Pressley encouraged community. She says this is the time to really show up for one another. She also mentioned plans to release more resources in the days to come. David, Lisa.
That is really important information, Courtney. Thank you. There is a red flag in the job market that you don't necessarily see when the monthly government report comes out.
The overall unemployment rate is 4.3%. In the last year, it's barely moved.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Akakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the 4 winds in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who may have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, and I just want to go into a lesson on how we're seeing happening, right before us, the fall of the Esau and Eve, and the two, all right, can't be separated, okay? Because going back to the Gardenian Pact, all right, which the serpent came to Eve, okay, with a way that was outside of her order, intended for her by Yahweh Bashim Al Shad, and the order was given to her by her husband, okay? And as Eve, betrayed Adam, okay, by listening to the serpent, and eventually bringing their way back to Adam, and you had the fall of the sons of God. Well, you had the same thing happen again, because when you go back to the 50s and 60s, Jake, they was thriving. Jake had the community. Jake was skillful. The family was together. Okay. Jake had, resources. Okay. But once again, the serpent, all right, Esau, Edom came to Eve, with the deal, all right, of making her the head of the house, giving her these opportunities. As you can see, Eve was the most employed, all right, by the government of the serpent. There's no coincidence, man. You got to see these things in the spirit. Okay. So Eve and the serpent, they go hand in hand. All right. And there's Esau, has been, destroying the earth, internationally. He has tasked, okay, the nigger woman, weaponized her, has financed and marketed her, okay, to destroy and keep the sons of God, all right, in a degenerate, defeated, broken, dysfunctional situation. Okay. And he would etch out, a place for her in the society, whether it's through giving her careers, certain grants and businesses, or just giving her assistance. Okay. So what we're seeing now is Esau is falling, Eve is falling. Okay. And as brothers been going into, the vintage gonna fail. All right. You got this here. This black woman, it says a black woman is facing up to 10 years in prison for allegedly using her food stamps to buy ingredients for a bake sale, which she then sold for profit. Prosecutors say she misused about $1,800 in benefits and could face up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Man, that's crazy work. Okay, so now the system that the nigger woman trusted so much is turning against them. Okay, this system is not working in their favor like it once did. You have first, all these government jobs are being taken away. Okay, the tariffs are affecting, a lot of these, small businesses. Okay, which Eve was in. Okay, then you have um, what they call the DEI. Okay, which the Edomite woman benefited too, but Eve benefits more from the government than any goddamn body. I know they got stats that say different, but shit, well, my eye can see shit. Eve goddamn benefit more than anybody. Okay, so what we're seeing now, is the Lord is dismantling Esau. Esau is dismantling his own system. Okay, and within this system, the nigga woman had all type of safety blankets and safety nets. Okay, that incentivize her poor decision making, and her the ideology of her being this independent, strong, black woman, and now it's failing. Okay, and it's gonna continue to fail. It's gonna get worse, way worse. Okay, Eve is being judged. Eve getting shot up. A lot of Eve being judged. Okay, then you have this nigga here. All right, because it's a fall. Okay, of the serpent and Eve. All right, you go here. You got this nigga Netanyahu. Okay, people are just walking out on this nigga. As he's speaking, his word is not being respected. No one is reverencing these devils. Okay, like they used to. So he went up there to give his sob story about him needing to be protected. They need to be protected, and how they the victim over there in their region, and folks left out, man. Okay, so everything is drying up, man. This kingdom is drying up, man, and at the forefront of this kingdom has been goddamn Esau and Eve, man. Okay, the serpent and Eve. Okay, now we're at the point where there's a new government that's getting ushered in, the government of righteousness, man. Okay, and how shall coming to clean this bullshit up, man. Okay, so let's go here. All right, because this rulership has been, okay, horrific to the planet Earth. Okay, all right, and you nigga women, okay, you trusted in this man, because when we go to the book of Isaiah 32, all right, hey, Esau and Eve judgment is right there together. Okay, this Isaiah 32:5. It says, "In that day, ungodly fools will not be heroes, scoundrels will not be respected." And that's Esau, man. He's the ungodly fool that rules the earth, and he's been able to parade himself around as the hero. Okay, but now we're seeing that he's being treated, all right, with contempt, all right, with contempt in his own kingdom. Okay, he said, "For fools speak foolishly and make evil plans. They practice ungodliness and spread false teachings about the Lord. They deprive the hungry of food and give no water to the thirsty. The smooth tricks of the scoundrels are evil. They plot crooked schemes. They lie to convict the poor, even when the cause of the poor is just, man." And this is what the devil is doing. He's scheming and plotting on his new world order. Okay, but as he's scheming and plotting, everything he's doing is working against him, man. Okay, and it's working against Eve, because Eve, all right, depends on this man like no other. Okay, she has fully, sold out her nation, her people, okay, to forward the nation of Esau, to forward the kingdom of Esau, man. Let's call a spade a spade. The nigga woman completely sold out her people to go forward, all right, the kingdom of Esau, man. Okay, and now that the kingdom of Esau is failing, she's failing with it. Okay, and all these schemes and plots and plans, and see, the Esau has weaponized the nigga woman, and you're not needed anymore. Okay, the nigga woman was used to instill dysfunction and chaos, okay, into the nation. That's been done. It's embedded now. Okay, now the culture just teaches itself, all right, how to destroy itself. So Eve is not needed, all right, anymore. Okay, it's already a self-destructive culture. You see? So you keep reading, it says, but generous people, it says verse 8, it said, but the liberal devised liberal things, and by liberal things, okay, shall he stand. Rise ye women. Okay, so it goes right into the women. It condemns Esau, then it goes right into what? Condemning the woman. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And this society has allowed a woman to just be careless in every fashion, man. Okay? All these safety nets, and incentivizes, the woman being a single mother, okay, which that's like an atomic bomb within itself. Okay? So here it is, this system, has done nothing but promote the nigga woman to be unchecked, to be careless, to be reckless. It incentivizes for poor decision making. Okay, and it has bred just this unruly nigga. Okay, with a bonnet on. Okay, this is just domestic terrorist, man. You see, and it says, "Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail and the gathering shall not come." Man, so these perks of this kingdom, okay, that you've been able to harvest, all these decades, these certain perks that you were used to, you hung your hat on, whether these careers or this assistance, okay, or these little perks of, these little business perks that the nigga woman was able to tap into, okay. Well, guess what? These things are going to fail. All right, all you women that make a living off the internet, all this going to fail. Okay, and you're going to be troubled. You're going to go through a time of extreme poverty, extreme suffering, okay, abandonment like never before, okay, and then there was this cry of the nigga woman, oh, we're not protected, nobody's protecting us. Okay, you just wait. Okay, you haven't seen you being unprotected yet. You just wait. Okay, he says, many days and years shall you be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall, all right, fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, scrip you, and make, all right, you bear, and gird yourself, all right, and gird sackcloth upon your loins, man. It's a time of grief. All right, this is symbolizing the time of grief, man, the time, of mourning, of lamenting. Okay, it said they shall lament, all right, for the teats, okay, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine, man, because it was a time when America was fruitful for the nigga woman. She can go out and just have baby daddies and go get a career and, start a business on the side, have a few tricks here and there. America was fruitful for the nigga woman. Okay, going back to the garden, Hey, so what Eve say? She seen that the fruit was pleasant to the eye. This lifestyle. Okay, the lifestyle that came with that ideology of rebellion against their order of the woman being under the man. Okay, so she seen the fruits of operating outside their order where she can have this going and that going, and this nigga and that nigga and this trip and this, this and that, and you see. But now, all right, it's finna come to an end. Okay, and what we're gonna see is just more confusion, as the scriptures say. Let's get this. Make this long. This is the book of Isaiah 30. Okay, and I should get to the point. Verse 3. It said, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh," all right, which the modern day Pharaoh is Esau. Okay, and the nigga woman thrive. Okay, in the strength of Esau's kingdom. Okay, that's why the nigga woman was 10 toes down for Esau and his kingdom, man. Okay, and it says, "Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow or the protection of Egypt your confusion." Okay, so you trust in this system to be up and running, and always take care and be fruitful unto you. Okay, you're finna be disappointed, man. Okay, Esau losing, all right, the nigga woman losing, niggas is finna lose. Okay, everybody except the elect of Israel, all right, the men, women, and children allotted, for salvation, getting ready to lose, man. Okay, and trusting in Esau is going to be your confusion. It only gets worse, man. So that was the point, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and your sisters edified once again. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, will rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.